Thank you so much for joining me. So, beginning Tai Chi class, starting with warm-ups, wellness or Qigong exercises, some waist work, and then we're going to work on that transition from ward off right into roll back, kind of connecting everything we've been working on. So, first thing that we do, feet shoulders width apart. Super important to our whole body's alignment. Nice soft knees. Remember, locking out the knees creates that kink in our lower back. We want to relax or tuck that tailbone down. Find the center of your feet. So move forward and back, side to side. We really want to bring this awareness into our practice right away, and then let the arms hang down. From here, just a gentle warm up, twisting the spine. Just let the arms swing a little bit. Remember, even as we do this swinging, we're lifting through the crown of the head, and we're dropping the tailbone, bringing that space to the spine. And this is just a great exercise to bring energy through the body. It also teaches us how the waist or the spine connects to the arm movements. So all that energy moves from the feet, through the legs and the spine, out to the hands and fingers. So we're just letting the hands tap wherever that might be, the belly, the lower back. And we're just doing a gentle turn side to side, few more rounds. And then we'll ease off. So that means we slow down from the middle until we make our way all the way back to center. All right, we're going to take a moment and move into the shoulders. So you can roll them back together, or you could do them alternating. So one and the other. So really up to you, big arm circles, whatever feels good. We just want to gain movement through the shoulders. So many of our rotations in our Tai Chi practice come through this area. With all of the slouching we do, sitting on our sofas or kind of hunching our back as we round and look down at our phones, we really want to make sure that we gain this mobility back through our body. So move in a way that feels good for you. Whatever that means, we'll do a couple more rounds this way. And then we're going to go the other direction. So that means going forward, we pull the shoulder blades apart, and again, alternating, large arm circles, whatever feels good. Just take this moment, opening up through the back. This is something we'll talk about throughout our Tai Chi practice. So pulling those shoulder blades apart, getting that energy kind of really moving through the spine. Do a couple of more, whatever variation that is for you. And then we're going to go the other way. So we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together a couple of times, and then shake them out. Let them find neutral. All right, we're going to do the hips and then the knees and the ankles. So just a nice circle. The arms can be hanging down. You can have the hands on the hips. Just make that rotation nice and big. So we're pushing out to the sides and around. Let's do a couple more this way. And then we're going to go the other direction. So rotating the other way. All right, 2 more circles, and then we'll do that last one, bringing the knees and ankles together. All right, back to center. All right, knees and ankles together, bending down, nice little circle here. Just a small rotation, warming up those joints. We'll go the other direction. And then we'll release, shake them out. Okay, so let's do these basic Qigong exercises, just drawing that energy in, settling down. Check back in on your feet since we've reset our position. Bring that great alignment, lifting through the crown of the head. Tuck your tailbone down so the knees are soft. Fingertips will start at the sides. We bring that little piece of fruit under our arms. And we're going to do the first one of like water's wave. So we want to feel a wave of energy moving through our body. We're going to rotate our arms and lift them up to shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Then we let the upper arms go down, the forearms and the palms until they sit in front of your hips. So we're going to go inhale up, exhale, relax down. Now I'm going to turn so that you can see. We're going to inhale and come up, And then we're going to bend into our knees as we sink down and bring the hands to the hips. And then we're going to stand back up. We're fully standing when the arms are at shoulder height. And then we stop sinking down when the hands are at the hips. Now, how low you go is completely up to you. We don't have to sink down very far. The goal is to feel the weight centered in your footwork. Feel that great wave of energy moving through the body. So we've been working on our circles and our waist training for weeks now. It's been a great reminder of how to bring that movement into our spine. And we can think about reaching out through our spine here and then settling back down. It's a small movement, but those small circles, this one being a vertical circle, really does help with bringing that energy through our body and helping us relax. So take a few more breaths here. Find your own movement. Remember, if we were in a classroom all together, everyone would move at a different rate. No one's breath being the same length. Everyone's stance and arms all being a different length. Few more rounds. Really relaxing, finding that feeling of moving through water. That's our goal. All right, one more. And then we just settle down, completing the movement. And then we're just going to stand up and return to that original position. From here, we're going to do looking up at the moon. So we're going to rotate our whole palms and arms so they face up. And we bring the arms overhead. Remember here, relax the shoulders down. No matter how wide the arms have to be, they don't have to be close overhead. Then bend at the elbows. Fingertips will point together and we'll bring those palms back down in front of the hips. Let the fingers point down. Rotate the whole arm. Inhale, we can even look up. Exhale, settle down. Now, including our legs, we're standing on our inhales. And we lower down on the exhales. So one of the hardest parts of this movement is how large that arm circle is, but how small that standing movement is. So can you slow down your legs so that you're fully standing when the arms come overhead? So push nice and slow and then sink down just as slow, trying to make everything arrive together. So when we're fully standing, those arms are overhead, and then we sink down. Let's do a few more rounds. So really listen to your own breath. Find your own movement. The only thing I want you to feel is lightness through that upper body. Feeling strong and stable through the legs. And we're going to bring this into our practice today. Let's do 2 or 3 more, always depending on how long your breath is. Finding that beautiful length through the arms, energy is expanding outwards. Now on the last one, we're going to do a half a circle and keep our palms facing down. And we're going to close the arms and bring them to shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Then we're going to do the first one. Upper arms, forearms, and palms sink down all the way in front of the hips. And then we return to that original position. All right, is the energy flowing now? Feeling a little bit better? Okay, So let's do a little bit of spine work in our chair so that we can really connect to that movement to bring into our practice today. So grabbing your chair, remember, no wheels, it's the best way, all right? This is really important for our overall health. This is great for our practice. So we want to sit on the edge of our chairs. Remember to find your sit bones. This might even mean moving the thighs, okay? Find their connection, both feet and sit bones, to the ground and your chair. The goal is to have your head over your heart and then your hips. So we have that really great alignment here. Now I'm going to stand up for a second to show you. Remember, we have our upper body shape. And what is that upper body shape? Little gaps between the fingers. Big rounded feeling here, like you've got your arms wrapped around a tree, but not too much. Just a little bit of opening through every joint. And one of the biggest things, shoulders and elbows sink down, okay? So when we're like this might feel okay for a split second, but the energy gets trapped in our chest. We also create a lot of tension within this area. So we wanna relax down and use just enough energy to keep our arms holding up. Now between our practice, we're gonna throw the arms down and release that energy or tension out of the body. So let's do the first one. Remember, we have 3 standard movements: turning side to side, horizontal and vertical. And then we're gonna mix them all together. So getting that great posture, getting into our hugging shape or hug a tree position. And we're gonna imagine we're in our own little square box. So we're in the center of a square and we're turning about 45 degrees. Then we come back to center and we turn to the other corner. Now remember, we do not have to go exactly 45 degrees. The goal is to move in a way that feels good. So we're not going to push ourselves, and we're not going to move so much that our sit bones disconnect from our chair. So we just want to feel a little bit of movement through the spine, nice and relaxed. Give yourself that beautiful upper body shape and just using enough energy to hold the arms up. Never creating tension, and breathing all the way down to the belly. Bring that new energy in. All right, let's do a couple more rounds, side to side. We're going to keep things a little bit shorter throughout this session today right here so that we can focus on that transition. So coming back, shake the arms out. We're going to go through all 4, but just a little bit less time in each today so that we can focus in on ward off to roll back, okay? So now we're gonna do horizontal. So that means we're moving from side to side. So we come back into that shape. Remember, little gaps between every joint, and then we're gonna move from side to side. Now the big thing being, when you move to the side, don't let your hip or your sit bones come off the chair, okay? It's gonna be a small movement, especially when we first start. We're just thinking about little movements from side to side. It might be this small in the beginning, okay? The goal is to just feel that movement, left and right. What does that feel like in your body? Can we find that middle back opening, sometimes called the gateway to life? We believe that all the energy is stored in this center area of our body. So as we breathe down towards the belly, we're bringing new energy in. And as we work with our spine, we're allowing that energy to flow freely throughout the whole body. Let's do a couple more rounds, back and forth, side to side. Good, one more. And then center and release, throw them down. Release that, we're kind of flicking that energy out through the fingertips, relaxing everything down. All right, so next is vertical. That means a big circle one way and then the other way, okay? So again, bringing that upper body shape. This includes a lot of our principles of practice: head lifting up, shoulders and elbows dropping down. And we're gonna think, exaggerating, leaning forward, up, back, and down. So circle, and then make it really small. So that small circle is about opening up through the chest area. Now, it might just start as an open and close. This is great. We're getting movement through that upper back area, okay? Every day is going to be a little bit different. One day it might feel like a smooth movement. The other day it might feel a little bit challenging. Let's go the other direction. So back, up, forward, and down. So again, exaggerating, and then remembering, keep your sit bones connected, small movements. Now, why do we practice in a chair and really focus in on our sit bones being connected? This is so when we get into our stance work with our waist exercises, that our hips are going to stay in line, allowing our knees to stay in line with our foot direction and giving us that proper alignment from the ground up. One more circle and then throw it out. Okay, last one. So remember, today we're moving a little bit quicker through these exercises so that we can really focus in on bringing some movements together. So the next one is our mixed variation, where we're going to make a figure 8 or more like an infinity symbol because it's going to kind of turn and twist. So we're including our turning, we're including our horizontal and our vertical circles all into what we call mixed waist movements. So bringing those arms back up into that hug a tree position. The first thing we'll do is we'll turn to one corner. Then we're going to bring our upper body towards the other corner, go back, across, and back. So how can you create a figure 8 with your torso? Remembering, keep those sit bones connected. So maybe those turning to the corner is a little bit smaller. But again, the goal is sit bones connected, and we're turning where? From this middle area. It's not the front, it's the back, the spine. That's starting to open and let energy flow freely. Okay, now can you reverse it? So can you go the other direction? So I'm always exaggerating at first to show you, and then hone it in. Small movements, allowing those sit bones to stay on your chair. Beautiful. Feeling that movement, and every time it's getting a little bit easier and easier, and we're finding more flexibility through the spine. Maybe we feel so much energy by the end of class that the days we have our Tai Chi practice just feel a little bit better than others. That's the goal. All right, let's come back to center. Throw it out. Last time. Really just let those arms go. Take that extra second here to really release through the shoulders. That's the goal as you throw down. Okay, and then we're going to move into just a little bit of stance work, kind of warming up our legs after sitting down. So take a second, grab your chair if you need it for balance. You can always turn it to the side, and we're going to open up our hips. Remember, keep everything nice and level. Find your weight on your foot. Not locked out. Lift, open, touch. So you can grab that chair. You could touch gently, hold on, or challenge your balance. The goal is to just think about this hip area opening so that it can help with our stance work, keeping our knees in line. We'll do a few more circles on this leg, and then we're going to do the other side. Beautiful. One more. And then release, and then the other side. So turning your chair or turning around, lift and open. Just finding a nice stretch through that hip area. Beautiful. Remember that opening to the side is really what's key, or we can lift as high as we can. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll release. Shake them out. Get that energy flowing. All right, let's get those chairs out of the way. So we have been working on our bow stance. Remember, our bow stance is the most seen stance within our practice. So it's what we repeat the most often. We're going to work with our left leg forward first because our movements are going to work with our right leg forward. So I'm going to turn and face you first to show what the bow stance should look like, and then I'm going to turn to the side so that we can all practice in the same way. Right now at this point, I'm going to mirror you, so feet are shoulders width apart. We're going to shift our weight to the left leg. And then we're going to turn and open our right foot 45 degrees. Remember, you're in your own little square box. Sink down only to where you can keep your knee in line. If you start sinking and your knee starts turning in, come back up. Sink down a little bit and now step straight out with that left foot. Heel, ball of foot, toes touch, and we bend our knee. You should immediately be connected here. Now move forward. Knee over ankle. I'm showing you this direction first because I want you to take note. We have two lines between our feet. So if you turned on your right heel and you brought your foot direction to straight to match your left foot, you very clearly have two lines and not one between your feet. And then you can turn your on your heel again back to 45. Next thing, hip direction. Hips should be open even if we turn our torso to straight. Remember your chair work. So we can turn our torso without turning our hips. If we think about turning our hips, our knee is likely to turn in as well, causing the weight to go on the arch of our foot and also causing a tweak of our internal tendons and ligaments within our knee. We want to heal everything, so we want it to be in proper alignment. Hips open, and then you can turn, okay? So we can move forward and back within this stance. We can also bring our arms in so then we can see turning with forward and back, okay? Now, I'm going to turn to the side. So if you'd like, you can reset with me. This is so we're all using that left leg forward. So again, we start shoulders width apart. We shift to our left leg and we turn and open our right foot 45 degrees. Sinking down, step out. Don't reach. Natural. Maybe that's here. Remember, everyone's stance is different. The only requirements, knee over ankle and two lines between your feet. So now feel forward and back. You don't have to hold the arms up. You don't even have to include the waist turn if you don't want. But feel the legs working. So instead of moving up and down, think level. How can you move level? Forward and back. And this is the same no matter the length of your stance. Forward and back. Now the next thing I want you to check, when you move your weight back and you turn your torso so that it matches your foot direction, this will help with picking up the foot, but can you pick up? If it was difficult, step smaller. Remember, our bodies will naturally become stronger over time, picking up and then stepping out. Okay? So, what should you feel? If we put our hands in a push position and we're in the back, imagine what it feels like if you were getting ready to push something heavy. You would be leaning forward and you would keep that lean as you pushed out. And we come back on an inhale and we push from chest level, not too low, to shoulder height. So I want you to feel the connection, legs, waist, arms. Inhale back, exhale, push. So we're starting to find that connection with our body. This is very important. This is the magic of Tai Chi. So instead of doing arms and then legs or legs and then arms, we really use what we learned in the beginning of class, slowing down those legs so that everything arrives together. Okay, feeling pretty good, right? Shake out the legs, all right? We're going to get back to them in just a moment, okay? So remember, this is things we've been working on. So if you're new, it's going to feel maybe like a lot of information right now, but we're going to do our best to just let our bodies feel the flow. So we're going to go and we're going to work on ward off right into roll back, press, and push. Right now, we're just going to focus on ward off right into roll back. So let's review for a moment. What is ward off right? Our right arm is going to have a hinged position, and our left arm is going to be reaching out over. Okay, so remember, it's not too close in. And then with our right arm, it's not going to be too close in as well. You're going to have some space. Remember, little pieces of fruit are always under your arms, okay? So ward off right means we're taking this left hand and it's going to push down as the right arm hinges up and it passes over the forearm. Now, where do you end up? Relatively close to the forearm, fingertips pointing. If you had a third arm, you could put a fist between them, okay? So from here or here, okay? So reversing it, reach out, and we hinge up and we press down together, okay? So from here, it's just up and down. Okay, now check. How's your torso? Are we square trying to do this? Or do we have a beautiful kind of open to the side direction and we keep it up and down? Okay. Now, what does this do? If we're here, what happens? Everything gets closed, so giving us space. Okay. So now I want you to watch. All right. I'm going to show you the transition. Now, the transition from ward off to roll back is kind of cool because we keep that spacing between the arms. So I'm going to show you from 2, maybe 3 different directions so you can really see it. So from here, keeping that same space between the arms, they're both going to rotate together so that the left palm and the arm change. So we end up left palm to the sky and right hand seated, and then it's roll back, okay? Now I'm going to show you again from this side. I want you to take note now. Watch the torso direction. We're open, and then we're going to go to straight, okay? So again, I'm going to show you now facing. This is not mirrored. This is my right arm, left palm. We rotate everything together. And then we just turn back. Okay, so one more time from here. Straight ahead, and I'm going to end up in the corner direction. So remember, you're in your own square. So I'm starting with my arms are straight, and then my torso is straight, and my arms are to the corner. And then we're just going to turn to the other corner. Okay, so key things here. What happens with your left palm? You're going to rotate to the sky. So the whole arm's going to rotate. So remember, how many times have you heard me say whole arm rotates? Key things, right? Little kind of rules almost that we're learning. It's not like a hand thing, okay? It's whole arm rotating, okay? Now the right arm. Think about keeping your elbow down. And again, what happens when you rotate this arm? Okay, you rotate the whole arm. But we're also going to turn and open that arm. Okay, so if I start here, think rotate, and then the palm's going to be what we call seated. Okay, so we start from here, and we're rotating that whole arm until that palm is going to sit up. Nice. Okay. Not too bad if you separate one and then the other, right? Now the thing is, how do we rotate them together? And when we rotate them together, okay, we're rotating them together like this. Okay, I'm not moving my torso now. What's the difference? Okay. If I rotate both arms together, I'm going to do that again, okay? So left arm's just turning like this, right? Right arm's going to turn like this. Turning. Now, why does it look super fancy? Look at the torso. Did you see it? So what's the key? Waist turning, okay? There's a reason these movements are connected together. And there's a reason I'm choosing to focus on them. This is a big part of any Tai Chi forms practice, okay? So as a beginning Tai Chi class, I feel like it's my responsibility to give you all the basics so that if you ever stepped into another class, you would be okay. Now, I know we're not here for martial arts. I'm just gonna explain to you for one moment and maybe it helps with the visualization, okay? Remember, we're grabbing a wrist, okay? And we're controlling our opponent's elbow up and down, right? So you're taking someone's arm and you're going like this, right? And their arm's going like this, okay? I'm double jointed, so it makes for a great demo. This is what you're doing. Up and down, up and down. This is ward off right, okay? We're going up and down. Well, what happens if you go to take someone's arm like this and they go like this? Well, this isn't going to work, right? This isn't going to work, okay? Here's the thing, and this is a little bit harder to visualize, but if I was going like this and someone bent, I would keep their elbow and grabbing of their wrist, and I would just follow their bend. And then I would take them and I would go down. So there's a reason these movements are connected. Now I know that most of you aren't here because you want to learn a martial art, but this is the reason why it's very important to stay and keep that space. So we're here and we keep that space following our opponent. And then we keep that space as we turn to the side. And then we could always come in and we could press our opponent away, okay? So those three movements specifically are very linked together. So let's slow it down. I'm gonna turn to this side for a moment, okay? So we're gonna do the same thing, ward off right into roll back. So we're here, left palms overhead, right arm underneath. We go up and down. Now keep the space exactly the same. Turn both arms to the corner. See how this right hand is seated? Now I'm going to drop the right arm. Don't change. Left palm to the sky. Yes. Now, big thing. Don't move. I'm going to show you. I want you to check. Do you have space in your armpit? Do you have space under here? Okay. So sometimes we'll kind of try to reach too far. Rein it in, relax the arms, and now from here, what do? We just turn. Roll back is the easiest one, right? Roll back is like, yes, roll back and push, okay? So let's go to this direction, all right? So now you've seen what? That right hand is seated. That's what I wanted you to see. So from ward off right, we've got that left arm overhead and that right arm's underneath. Beautiful. Okay, so up and down. Now keep the space the same. Waist turns. Turn to the corner. Left palm to the sky. Right hand is what we call seated. Turn your waist and bring those arms back to the corner. You did it. Okay? That's it. Now we're going to do that a few times until we feel more comfortable with it, okay? Remember, this is, techniques, right? This is a little bit harder. So I want you to keep that in mind. We're going to practice a few times. I want you to give yourself grace and just let your body do what it's going to do. And then I'm going to show you how this works with the arms or the legs and the arms together. Okay. So left palm overhead, right arms underneath. Nice and slow. Up and down, go together. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to turn. Rotate both arms. And then we're going to turn back. Yes. Okay, ready? Left arm overhead, right arm underneath. So we're just getting more comfortable, enjoying the flow. So up and down. Turn. And then turn back. Okay. Now remember, traditional Yang style has a lot of details, right? There's a lot of details going on there. What do I want you to do? At some point, we have to let go. And we just have to let our bodies do whatever they're going to do. I mean that truly, okay? The details can be overwhelming sometimes, but the details help us heal our body with that proper alignment, all right? So I'm going to show you now how it combines with the legs and the arms together. So we start with a bow stance with our right leg forward and our left arms overhead. We're going to go up and down. Okay, so ward off right is just going up and down with weight moving forward. Now we're going to do this a few times, okay? So let's set up. Give yourself a great starting position. We're going to start on that weight to the right, turn and open the left toes. Sink, and now step out. Okay, do you have a good bow stance? Can you feel solid forward and back? Can you pick up? If you moved back, could you pick up? If it was harder, step a little bit smaller. Okay, left arm reaches out, right arm's underneath. So everything arrives together. Beautiful. Shift back. Just reach out, just like we were doing before in our previous session, up and down. I want you to check now. Torso's open. Elbow and knee should be in line. Stay where you are. I'm going to turn so you can see. Elbow and knee in line. This means we're not turned too much to the side. We're not here. This right arm should be square. That means our elbow and knee is in line here, and we have just enough space between the arms, okay? Reverse it. Now up and down. So just keep reversing. And then can you make it so that everything arrives together? Remember, the slower you move, the better. They used to do everything half the speed that we're doing it now. Okay, so up and down. Okay, now remembering all the way back to roll back with the arms and the legs. The first thing we do is we rotate the arms and we turn our torso. Then legs, waist, arms, everything turns and shifts back. Nice. Yes. Feeling better, right? Now we're gaining that connection. Okay, so let's just reset from here. Left arms overhead, right arms underneath. Okay, we go up and we go down. And then we turn. And then we turn back. Ready? Let's do it again. Left arms overhead, right arms hinged underneath. And then hinge up and press down, go together for ward off right. Then roll back. Keep that space between the arms. Rotate both as you turn from your waist. And then shift back and turn to the other corner. Feeling better? Right? Okay, so I want to show you how this all goes together, all right? So keeping in mind, when we count within our forms the name and numbers of movements, they like to give us a little trick. They say that this one set of movements is called grasping the bird's tail. Grasping the bird's tail includes ward off left, ward off right, roll back, press, and push. That's 5 movements. It doesn't always include ward off left. Sometimes it's just ward off right, roll back, press, and push. But I want to show you where we're going. So we're here in ward off right, and we go up and down. Then we do roll back, and we turn. Then we have press, and we expand out, and then we have push. And that is for out of the 5 movements. Okay, so we're gonna be working and building up to this because I want you to, again, to have that confidence, to have an at-home practice where you can flow through these movements. Eventually, it will feel natural and easy, but right now we're getting into the details. So give yourself grace. We're gonna practice 2 more times, ward off into roll back, and then we'll close this session, okay? So give yourself a great starting position, shoulders width, shift right, turn and open that left foot. Sink, step out. Okay, left arms on top, right arms underneath, up and down, go together. Turn for roll back, rotating both arms, shift and turn back. Okay, ready? Reset. Overhead and underneath with that right arm. Up and down, ward off, right. Roll back, turn. Beautiful. All right. Great work today. Remember, Tai Chi should be about playing Tai Chi, so we want to have a little bit of fun, even when it's a little bit challenging. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Always a pleasure having you here.